our next session today, the 18th of September. Now, why am I out here in Shed 1 in its corral? Because I've been watching YouTube videos. There aren't very many on YouTube about roping an alpaca, but there was one that caught my attention. A little girl was trying to catch up with a small herd of alpacas, and she had a lariat in her hand. She knew how to make a loop, but she was a little girl and she wasn't able to get close enough to the small herd in order to rope any of the alpacas. So it made me think that I better have a little roping pen here, because I'm gonna teach kids and their families how to rope. And the alpacas are only 200 pounds and much smaller than a horse. I had these panels left over from prior fencing, and we're not quite ready to make it a roping pen yet. I'm hoping by next week we will, or at least maybe even show you some progress next session. We're using this area here, as always, to bring the alpacas in from the big pasture. And we need a gate here so that they realize when they come in from the big pasture and they get to this corral in front of Shed 2, that they're supposed to go to the tacking area. Okay? We didn't want to change that routine today. We're going to be able to somehow keep this gate across this opening as needed when we are going to be having sessions of roping, alpaca training, and routine going for the Urban Alpaca Girls Show. So for now, my helper Tavis, who is the main trainer, is out in the big pasture getting the boys. And as I've told you before, it used to be quite an ordeal to get them to come in. It isn't anymore. They understand when they see us coming out there that it's time for school. And oh, they're out there running around. I can see them. You may not yet. But they gave us a little trouble the last couple times. We'll see if they give us trouble today, because they really know what they're supposed to be doing, and they're not doing it readily. Okay, now that happens with kids too. As a matter of fact, it used to be routine, Monday through Friday, kids would go to public school every day, every one of those weekdays. Ever since the pandemic, that routine has changed, and it's hard for the government and the families to get the kids to come back to school routinely. It used to be truancy if you weren't in school. Ever since this concept of homeschooling came to be during the COVID pandemic, families, whether or not they want to, are seemingly not sending their kids or getting their kids to school each weekday. Okay, I'm walking out here. This is their gate to the big pasture, which we close at night for the alpaca safety. But we open in the morning for their pleasure. Okay, I see now they're coming toward the training area. I think they've said, oh, okay, I guess I have to go to school. And I told them this morning, we're having school today. Now let's see if they are willing to. They know, I know they know, that they're supposed to be coming here. We don't have to go out there with arm extensions and team members. they know they're supposed to be coming here, but they're not coming here straight away. Okay, we'll see if Tavis alone, without an arm extension, can get them to come here like we routinely were being able to do for the last couple of months. Yes, it's looking more likely. I hope he doesn't have to. Okay, here comes the alpaca brother. All right, I think they've said, okay, we'll go to school. Now I'm standing here by their water tub, and it's also their play tub. Remember, this is where I store my farm equipment. So I'm going to step over here out of their way. I don't want to make them think that there's anything different about going to school today than there has been in the past. So I'm walking over here carefully. Okay, and here comes Beta. This is Alpha. Here comes Beta. They said, okay, we'll go to school. All right, now let's see what they say about going into the training area. Remember, routine is very, very important for livestock and for learners. And they're having a lesson today. I'll be through the gate in a moment, and we're going to watch you explain to them, remind them what the routine is.
Oh, yeah.
This is my precious Alpha. You can see they're getting a heavy coat because this is fall. It's going to start getting cooler. Okay, now even though there's an open gate here, they routinely go there to the corral in front of shed 2. Yeah, here comes Beta. Okay, and then Tavis closes the gate, and then he goes around. Once they're in the corral in front of shed 2, he closes the portable panel that we usually leave open unless we're ringing the school bell and saying it's time for school. Uh-oh, we have a little bit of resistance. Okay, I think he's got it now. It might be confusion and not resistance. Maybe they don't remember from 4 days ago when we had our lesson roping. And we're going to continue to teach them roping and being allowed to be roped. But today we've got another objective. Is we're working on also training them to ultimately pull a cart. And remember, I have 2 carts there. And Tavis suggested, let's put the saddles on them, and we'll put on one of them, on top of the saddle, the tarp. They both had a tarp on their backs. And then we're going to take them out and back them into, we hope, the cart shafts. So let's do one for now. And I would say Alpha because he's usually our quickest learner. They know they're in the tacking area. And you see how Tavis touch him on his back and then on his neck. He's backing off. Okay, he's corralled up next to the panel. Okay, he's accepting the halter. And here are my goat boys. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos about goats, and they can learn all of this stuff. I know they can, but we've got to get tack small enough for them. The other day I came out here, because I leave this roping steer out here with at least one rope on the horns, and the kids' rope was all disentangled. And either the alpaca boys or some deer or the goats messed with it, so it's now in, for the time being, in our tack pails. Beta's watching us. Alpha's okay on being saddled, saddled and tighten the cinch. He's okay on it. He's not looking concerned at all. Now in this can here, I think it's where it is, we've got that tarp that we put on both the boys' backs last couple times. Yep, there it is. And we're just going to put it on top of the saddle, which is now cinched to their Alpha's back. See, here's where we have all of our tack. And I'm going to take the longest arm extension I have, which is just this 1/4 inch PVC. Oh, and Alpha's saying, wait a minute, what's that? What's that noise on my back? And now they're having issues between each other. I would say open it up one more time. Yeah, okay. It's all right if it falls down. We've got to make them realize it's no big deal. Open it up and have it draped over the saddle so that it's touching their legs. We've got to keep desensitizing their legs. No. Okay. Llamas are the same way. They don't like to be touched on their faces. They don't like to be touched on their legs. Now, Alpha's got his mouth open. I think he's a little bit stressed. We've never done this before. We're just showing you what it's like to do it this first time. Now, will it fall off again? It might, but we don't want him to get all upset about having some kind of tarp-like device falling off his back, making a tarp sound. Remember, these guys are prey animals. If they don't understand what they're seeing or hearing or feeling, they'll behave defensively. And that's what prey animals do. His mouth is still open, so he's nervous. His ears are back. We're just going to give him some practice walking around, maybe being able to back him up into, you can choose which cart shaft you want to back into. See if they feel the shaft. Are they going to step over it, which is not good. They're going, he's going into his play tub. Oh, he's bending down on his knees. We're touching him where he likes to be touched. Uh-oh. Yeah. He thinks maybe this is a game. Each time we have a lesson like this, I think ahead. What are they ready for? What are their prerequisite skills? Where are we heading? I reevaluate.
Tarp off and then back them in?
uh, I'm wondering, well, you're afraid the tarp will fall down and get...
Yeah, he's...
All right, okay, I'll accept that. You're watching how we get there, what choices we have to make. It was supposed to be pretty cool today, but it's now about 10:30 or so. It's already pretty warm. Okay, now is he gonna be... I have the arm extension here if you need it. Let's see if you can explain to him, use the word back. And what happens if he touches a shaft with his legs? You can say over if you want to get him to move his hips over. Okay, over, good. And back, back. I like that. Let's stand there for a minute. And his mouth is closed. Oh, and he's coming up with the shafts. Good. Good. Can you picture that? Yeah, the shafts will be held on the sides of their harness or their saddle. He's doing okay. Good. You know what I'd like you to do now? Go back into the tacking area and do the same thing with Beta. Let's see if he's going to be a good boy. It's pretty easy to cinch up that cloth saddle. And here are our goat boys watching the lesson. Whenever they see that we're having a lesson, they come running. I think Beta will come in. He's saying, oh, yeah, I know this. That's where you guys tack me up. Let me walk behind him and encourage him to go in. Oh, no. He's saying, no. No. Let's see. Changing his mind. I think he's going to come in, Tavis, so if you can get over there and close the panel. I'm stopping. I'm stopping because he's turning around again. He might change his mind again. It looks like he is. Yeah, just take the tack off and let's see if we can get Beta in there without scaring him, confusing him. Now, if you just take the halter off Alpha, they'll think the lesson is over. That's going to be a little confusing. I was hoping Beta would be in there. Let's see where he is. Yeah, he's right here eating. Let's see if I can walk behind him. Nope. Okay. All right, let's see if you can convince him that even though his buddy Alpha went through some training, it's now his job to get tacked up and trained. Almost there, almost there. We did it, very good. They know who you are, you're the teacher. Okay. This is unusual. We usually do both at once or just one at a time in a lesson, but today, okay, now what is Beta going to do about getting haltered? He's always been a little harder to halter. Almost. There you go. Okay. He was even, at first, hard to unhalter. Remember, we couldn't take the halter off. He'd be resisting. Okay, now we're going to see. Repetition. Can we do it with Beta? And what does Alpha say about that? He's just eating some dry hay or grass. It's on the ground. Okay, now we're gonna saddle up Beta. One of these days we may have to do a show about clipping their nails. I was hoping we can wait until they get sheared, because that's when they were last clipped. But that likely will be in May, and this is now September. I don't know if we can wait that long. Is he going to let us put that cinch, pick it up and cinch them up? The goats are still here watching. Especially with Beta, we've learned to be very careful that the cinch is tight. And the tarp is out here, so Tavis is choosing to come out here and put the tarp on his back. Let's see how he behaves about that. One small step at a time. He's not sure. He's looking at the tarp. He's saying, what's going on here? I can see. He's just not sure what's next. Good boy. Yeah. Do a zigzag if they won't go straight. Okay, now what is he going to say about the tarp? He's looking very concerned. Although he has had it on his back before. I don't want to be in his way if he swings around like that, so I'm carefully holding on to the panel. There we go. Okay. So our moment of resolution, if we can get there with Beta, is do just what you did with Alpha. It's not going to be as easy, no way. We want them to accept things like this. A tarp can't hurt them, but they're afraid of them if they're not desensitized to them. It's especially true with horses. Alpha's watching. Are they learning from each other? I kind of think it can't hurt to let them watch. It can only help. Good. His ears are a little bit back, but not straight back. He's just not sure what's next, and I don't blame him for not being sure. We've never done a saddle and a tarp on his back. The goats are here investigating saddle racks and saddle straps and so forth. That's good. I wonder if I can get a saddle small enough for a goat's back, a Nigerian dwarf goat's back. I actually put an ad in Craigslist saying seeking tack for alpacas, and I haven't gotten one reply. Not one. Okay, so the tarp is coming off. We're going to have to do some repetition of this lesson. See if they get better with repetition. You can imagine, what's their little mind thinking about? What is that plastic thing that's making so much noise? Okay, his ears are back up. Walk around. They certainly know how to walk around with a saddle on and a halter on. Alpha's not the least bit interested right now. He's just eating some leaves or hay that fell on top of the vegetable bin. I'm going to carefully walk out again now that they're at the other end of the small training area. Okay, the next challenge, well, I wouldn't do it when he's behaving that way. You've got to make sure he's walking without tension. Yeah, go through our corridor. We made this corridor, these jump standards, to give a place that we could walk through where there's a rail on each side. He's confused, he's resisting. I kind of expected this to be happening, because Beta is a different alpaca than Alpha. Whoops, almost dropped the camera. And Blackie, my goat Blackie, is trying to figure out what that plastic is. He's actually biting on it. We've got clouds in the sky. We're getting close to days where we're going to have thunder and lightning. Alpha's going into his play tub. Beta is giving full attention to Tavis. Will we be able to back Beta into the cart shafts? I'm not sure. We'll see pretty soon. Try to use your voice. Use the word back or over if you're trying to get the hips over. Okay, guiding him with his neck. That's good. Back. Oh, he stepped over the shafts. Okay, let's see. Repetition. One small back step at a time. Oh, he stepped over again. Okay. It would be helpful if somebody could be on that side just to remind him not to step over the shaft. So if we don't get there today, we'll try to make sure there's another person here with a arm extension to remind him not to move his back hips over. Nope. Again, that's 3 times. Let's try again. I wonder if I stand there, if that will help him to realize that no, he's not supposed to swing his hips over the shafts. Carefully walking over there. The grass is high, so I can't see where I'm stepping. Okay, now his front leg is over the shaft. That's better than the back leg, and his back leg is touching the shaft. That's good. Yeah, I'm going to leave it up to you, Tavis. Do you want to try it again?